Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the Thelma and Louise Show. And we're calling it what are we calling it?
Does your real estate agent?
Do this.
Because we've done a lot.
We have. We've got some stories to tell.
And there are agents who don't do or
Absolutely.
do anything or do a lot. And so we are here to answer the lifelong question of real estate of does your real estate agent do? And we'll go over what those look like.
What did we do this past week while we were snowed in Snowmageddon 2024 in Nashville, Tennessee?
We had a client who wanted to get out. The roads were clear, so we said, let's go. Got in the husband's Jeep, went out and looked. She had a brand new Cadillac. Well, it got stuck. It got stuck on the ice. So we tried to get it out. Didn't work. So we left it, picked her up, took her back the next day, had some kitty litter. That's a whole other story. And got her out. So we definitely always try to go above and beyond for our clients.
Absolutely.
So then I get home yesterday and my husband says, I'm afraid to ask.
The question
Why is there a broom and kitty litter in the back of the Jeep? And I'm like, well, Judy and I have been together the past 5 days. He goes, yeah, that's why I didn't ask.
He says that explains it all. I don't want to know.
No. What else have we been doing?
Okay, so we went out and did some listing docs during Snowmageddon because our client called and said come, and we came. We went in my car that day.
We did. We went in her car. We ended up picking up some milk, some prescriptions for some neighbors and friends because
Since we were out.
Yep. That's what we do. That's what we do. Let's see. Also, the most recent thing that we've done is was it New Year's Day or New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve, I think.
We got in the Jeep again and went and showed property.
Mm-hmm.
There was nobody. Everybody was getting ready to party, I guess, and since we don't party and we go to bed early because we're old. We're not old.
But these folks called and said, can you show me? And as a realtor in Middle Tennessee, yes
is the
we
answer.
can show you what time do you want to be there because we're going to meet you there.
So we got in the Jeep. We went. We showed. We had a good time. Mm-hmm. In case y'all didn't know, we have done a few videos. They're on TikTok. We don't do very well with them, but they're there. So if you want to check those out too, please feel free to.
Absolutely. The best one I looked up this morning, we did a 4th of July video at the park in Gladeville, Tennessee. Now, Gladeville's a little wide spot in the road, has its own zip code for like 50 people, but it has a park. And we were down there. We were going to splice it together, and we had some ball bats and crazy.
I got a little excited and took my wiffle ball bat. Thank goodness it wasn't a real bat. You're welcome.
Might have knocked.
And she might have got knocked in the head. So go to TikTok and check that one out too. Yeah.
Well, so we have a friend of ours that's going to splice together and make this little, I don't even know what you call
video
it,
reel
advertisement for it. And the behind the scenes of some of the videos we've done, we decided to advertise for our little Gladeville because people that are moving here from all over the world, you know, small town America, and they love the caveat of everybody knows, everybody weighs it, we've got small town restaurants that real people are cooking, and it's really nice. And we were going to start advertising and promoting them this past summer. And we have a beautiful, what is that called, the design house? And we're sitting on the front porch, and we were going to promote the Wilson County Fair.
The White Farmhouse. Yes. So my friend bought a little, we call it the White Farmhouse in the middle of Gladeville. It's been 2 years now, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. And he redid the whole thing. So it's now his interior design business in there. And we sat on that front porch and made some videos and got a few honks that day.
We did. Behind the story to that was we brought clothes because we were going to shoot all of this in one day. So we were changing clothes. And you know how you bring that stuff. Oh, I've got that cowboy hat. I've got those boots. I've got those jeans. Yeah. And we get there to do the video. And
Judy had them, but they didn't fit.
Oh, they didn't fit. So we had to hobble up to the front porch and hide my feet because I couldn't get my boots on. But one of our clips of our videos was trying to get
the boot off. Yeah, that was fun.
That was. It got a lot of views, but it brought on a buyer. Somebody thought it was funny enough. They called us and saw us on the front porch that day.
So I guess we're the laughing joke now of Gladeville.
I guess.
I don't know. People either think we're funny or they think we're crazy. There is no in between. So.
That's true, but we will do a lot for our clients and our customers. So
sure will.
What was something else we did recently?
We do a lot, Judy.
We do. We went to hunting territory back
we
before
did.
Christmas.
Yeah. So Judy thought it was a good idea to ride in the car while I walked, and I don't mind, guys. I really don't. But it's hunting season, and it was like the perfect day for hunting, and they were out, and so Judy left all the orange vests at home, which is what you're supposed to use for hunting. Instead, she had the yellow reflecting vest for construction workers, and had me walking beside the car as she's videoing me for the Thelma and Louise video. Talking about deer and getting shot. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Got a lot of play off that one.
We did. Our clients did have on their orange hunting vest.
They did. They
Best
did.
of all, they found the property that
They
day.
did. That was the perfect property.
They loved.
So it was worth it.
So let's dive into that property. So our folks, our buyers specifically want to buy a barn dominium. They want to build a barn dominium. So they wanted to buy a property that you could sustain a barn dominium in the build. So it is hours of research and going to find the deed, the restrictions on property, getting everything in writing, because you don't want to disappoint your folks once they have bought their property, got their plans, secured their builder.
Well, and barn dominium is the new thing, right? And so on these older deeds, even the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, this land has been in these families for years, and they don't have specifications if a barn dominium can be built on it or not. And so not only do we have to get specific, but we have to go back and find the previous owners if you even can, guys, because sometimes they're deceased, and then you got to go through a probate title issue. And so we try to pull all that information ahead of time, and that way they know what they're getting. And we don't have an issue down the line once we put something under contract that they can't even build their house that they want. Another recent one we've had is an RV camper. Remember that one?
Oh my goodness, yes.
We're actually in the middle of that transaction right now. They ended up buying in Tullahoma, and they bought a camper. They decided one weekend they were going to go away. They loved it. They bought a camper. They called us on the way back and said, "Hey guys, we were ready to sell our house and we need a place to park our camper." And we're like, "Okay, no problem." Well, as you dig in, there are restrictions once again. And so you got to pull them deeds and those CCRs of all those neighborhoods. And some of them allow trailers, and some of them are specific on what a camper versus an RV versus a livable mobile object is. And so it's very specific. And so we had to go through and find them a property with a house. So it's not just land. It was a home where they could park their camper. And so we finally found them something in Tullahoma. So they're very excited. But what'd your real estate agent do? Here we go. Judy and I go out together with the measuring tape. And every house, before we even go in it, we're measuring the driveway, measuring the area, making sure that camper, height, width, feet, all of it can fit in any space without having any issues.
Is it one way in and one way out of a subdivision? The camper's 33 feet, whatever.
Yeah, we had to drive a couple different directions to make sure that they can even get the camper to the house and then get the camper out. So yeah, we're those agents who do all of those little things that people don't think about on the backside. We don't want somebody to have buyer's remorse when they get in their new place and go, "Oh my gosh, I wish I would have." Or, "Oh my gosh, why didn't I know this?" And so we're very thorough when it comes to that. And
we try to be.
I feel like all of our clients really appreciate that.
For sure. Well, we better be wrapping this up.
I
It's our
guess
first
so.
podcast. We don't know how all this works, but we
don't either.
We did have a couple of questions our friend has helped us with, so let's get a couple of these questions answered. And here is question number 1. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
What initial steps do you recommend for a homeowner looking to prepare their property for listing it?
Oh, well, we have a whole list, don't we, Judy?
We do.
We have a whole list.
They think we're crazy.
They do. When we do a listing appointment, we go in with a notebook, and it has all the expectations that we have for the seller, that buyers who are going to look at their home have for the seller, that other agents have for the seller also, because there's a lot of things people don't think about. You're not just opening your home to agents and to buyers, but you're opening it to the general public. You're opening it to kids, to families, to elderly, anybody and everybody. And so we have a list, and we print it off, and it's got 28
points.
I think 28 points we add to it all the time on what to expect when you're listing your home. So keep watch, because we may have a podcast just on that.
We could make a whole month's worth of podcast on that.
On the opposite end of that, though, Judy, we do that for buyers too.
We do.
We have a folder for buyers, and so when a buyer comes to us, a fresh buyer, first-time home buyer, or maybe they haven't bought or sold in a long time, and they have a bunch of questions. There's lots of questions. We have the same thing. That list is not quite as long, though, I feel like. It's like more of a 5 to 7 step process just to get started. Much simpler than selling the home, because you have to get to point A to point B to point C, and they have to go in that order. And so when we talk to our buyers, we say that a lot, of you have to get past point A to get to point B, and we're not going to talk about B till we get past A.
Absolutely.
And so we
because
can do
B can look a lot different. B looks different for every buyer.
That's right.
Every buyer. There's no buyer that B doesn't look different.
No. And so we can do a podcast on that too.
That would be great.
Our buyer packet. It's super secret though, so we'll have to
we have
bleep
to think
some
about
stuff
that
out.
one.
Yeah, for sure.
Industry secrets.
What other questions do you have, Judy?
Oh, we'll do one more. You ready for this
Okay, one more.
Okay.
What you got?
Super secrets here. Are there any specific repairs or improvements that you commonly advise homeowners to undertake before listing their home? Declutter. I gotta say.
All the way.
Declutter. I've got to say, I lived in a house where I had to shimmy through because I had so many antiques.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't put my house on
but
the
not
market.
just
Nobody could walk in
declutter,
it.
depersonalize, Judy. Because
That's so
how many
true,
times
too.
do you walk in and you see all these people, their pictures on the wall, and while you live there and you love that about your home, or maybe even your friends and family come over and love that,
It can be
Joe
distracting
Blow
for a
does not
buyer.
care. And it is very distracting for a buyer. We want them to see the walls and the floors and the home itself, and not
How
your
they can
furniture
live in it.
and not your pictures of your family. And not to mention, Judy, how many people have we helped that it's confidential?
Oh, that's so true too.
We've helped a lot of people that we've had to keep their identity confidential, and buyers and sellers. And so we pride ourselves in that too. Another, does your real estate agent do this? We have to maintain their privacy and their confidentiality because of what they do for a living. And we have to make sure that everything is put up, put away, and
Taken out
no
of the
one
house.
can figure out by just looking, per se, who they are and what they do.
So true. Well, there's our 2 questions.
There's our
for
2
the
questions for the day.
We'll wrap it up. We're going to do February-ish, and I've got to say, topic for the next real estate, and how does real estate a loan match the property? I thought that might be good for February.
Oh, that is a good one.
Because people do not realize a property has to qualify for a loan just like a
Buyer has to qualify for it,
to qualify for
Yeah.
a loan. So that education is absolutely wonderful.
Maybe we'll throw in a few listing tips and buyers tips if y'all are lucky. Stay tuned for that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, we'll sign off for today. It's Thelma and Louise, Judy Woodard Stafford, Blackwell Realty and Auction.
Brittany Friedman, also Blackwell Realty and Auction. We hope that you guys will stay tuned and tune into us and see what all we have to say and do and things that come up, because you're going to hear about it.
Thank you.